Well, hi everybody. I hope you've made it this far tonight because the next thing I'm going to go over is the specific homework assignment where you have to create a mini lesson on a topic of your choice and then present it to me through GoReact. So you're here at the homework page. You've gotten this far, I suppose, so you know that you are to create a lesson plan and then record yourself doing it. I do not want it more than 15 minutes. One reason I'm sticking to the 15-minute time frame is because I happen to be using Screencast-O-Matic, and I find that a pretty good free screencasting software, and I think you should use that too. The deal is the free version can only record for 15 minutes. The other way you could do it is, of course, and I'm going to hold this up to the camera so that you can see it. But since you're doing it in GoReact, you can use the GoReact app on your cell phone. If you haven't already loaded the GoReact app on your cell phone, I recommend doing that and at least playing with it and looking at it so that you get an idea of how it works. Okay, so that's the GoReact app on your cell phone. You can also use a tripod to hold your cell phone if you want to stand up at a whiteboard and do your lesson that way. I'm easy however you do it. I know a lot of us are in a COVID-19 situation where we have to present our lessons in front of the computer, so that might be a good option for you too. Again, I am not really concerned about how you do the presentation, but I do want you to know that if you use your cell phone app, it loads really easily into GoReact and there's very little wait time. If you use another application to videotape yourself, remember to save it in a low resolution format, 480p, because GoReact doesn't play at anything above that. And especially if you're on a low bandwidth sort of thing, or you have slow connections, you're going to want to do it in the lowest resolution possible. So those are the sorts of things I want you to think about. This plan has two parts, okay? The first part, of course, is to plan the lesson. And you're going to click on this link that's going to open up. And you are going to give me a copy of this. So in order to do this, the first thing you have to do is to make a copy of this and title it with your own name. So you come up here to File, Make a Copy, and this would be someone's name. Okay, so this could be Jones mini lesson template. Okay, so you've just made your own and now you're going to start typing in it. This is a one-page document. The form is fillable. The table will expand as you type in it. So if you type for more than a few lines, it will just increase. What do you need to fill out? Of course, the name and the date, the proposed grade level, the subject area. So this is the content that you're going to be certified in. It could be math, it could be science, it could be history, English language arts, or even Spanish. Okay? So then the lesson title, give it a descriptive title, but it doesn't have to be overly long. I want you to write one or two objectives, an objective that can be identified in less than 15 minutes. Make sure that it's measurable. Make sure that a person can watch your students do this and they can say, yep, your students did that. I watched them do it. It's a measurable objective. So that means your objective can't be something like students will understand, because you can't really measure understand. Now, if you want to say something specific, it's going to be students will write a 3-sentence description of. Okay, that's a pretty easy thing to measure. Students will conduct, will work and solve a 2-step algebra problem. That's very objective. And those are the kinds of objectives we want. Then I want you to think about that objective that you wrote and find the standard that applies to it. The standard is going to be in the AKDeed website. I've already talked to you about this in the earlier presentation, and I linked it here in this document. So the standards that you're going to be using are right here on this website. Again, it's by content. You may be an English language arts teacher. You may be a mathematics teacher. You'll find those standards there. I want the standards referenced by number, by letter, by grade level, and a title or descriptor. The title or descriptor has to be enough that I can make out what it is, not just, you can't just write ELA writing 3A. It needs to be more descriptive than that. And I've given you example of the kind of expectation I have for this particular state standard. Now, this particular state standard, if we're talking about narrative writing, then that's the objective that I'm going to be measuring using this standard. Be real clear in that. Those two things have to be related to each other. This lesson is, again, it's pretty easy to plan. I want you to think of two things. What do I want my students to know as a result of this lesson, and how will I know that my students learned what I taught them? Those are the two things you're going to write right here in this box. It should be 2 or 3 sentences, and that's all you need. If you're going to hand out a worksheet or a template or something to work from, please attach it in this line. And that's it. That's your lesson plan. Now I want you to record yourself doing it. Now, if you don't have students, you're going to pretend you have students. If you want to do it in front of students, that's certainly your prerogative, but I'm not asking you to do that. You can pretend to be doing it on a whiteboard, and you can show us the 5 steps that you're going to carry out to solve your algebra problem. You're going to do some direct instruction, a little bit of guided practice, and then let them do it, okay? Or, in a pretend way. But the point is, I'm getting you to start thinking about planning lessons using objectives and standards. I'm getting you to think about assessment. That is, how will I know my students learned it? And then I'm getting you to practice using GoReact and the technology here. So those are those are Mr. Cahill's objectives for this particular homework. Now, after you've planned the lesson, after you've got it down, practice it, okay? Please practice in front of a mirror. Make sure that you're coming across clearly. Make sure that you don't have too many stutters, and make sure that you don't have a lot of time wasted going from one task to another. I'll show you next, you're going to record yourself in GoReact. So once you log into GoReact, you'll see that you, of course, may have more than one course. If you're enrolled in more than one course at UAF that uses GoReact, you'll have to toggle down to the correct course. Here is the mock school board presentation, and here is the mini lesson that I'm talking about. When you start your assignment look again, I've got that clicked, I've got it highlighted, I start the assessment, I give it a title, and then I have my choice. I can either upload it if I've done it from a different video situation. I can upload it from the internet if I've stored it on the internet, for instance, as a YouTube video, or I can record it myself right here in GoReact. If I record it in GoReact, I'm using the camera that's on your computer, and there's an option to do a screencast on here. It's a little subtle, but when you choose the camera down at the bottom, choose use screen share as well, and you'll be able to share your screen and the camera at the same time. So that's kind of GoReact's workaround for doing screencasts. Again, I recommend Screencast-O-Matic. There's another one called Screencastify, not to confuse the issue, but it only allows you a 5-minute video. So that's why I prefer the one I'm using here, Screencastify. Okay, after you've recorded it, boom, you're going to upload it, and your assignment will be done. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. This whole assignment is due on October 6th, so you have 1 week to get it all done. Thank you very much.